think about the personality type of someone who wants to make you believe that they are the voice of a higher power, who wants you to believe that you should live your life exactly according to what they're telling you. And this is essentially the mentality of someone who knows that they are a fake psychic. You're essentially giving up your free will to all of these synchronicities, but in exchange for your free will, you're getting this feeling of safety. Spiritual psychosis is a liar that tells you it has the answers to everything, and the charlatans on TikTok feed into this belief like nothing else presently on Earth. Well, hi there, YouTube. If you're hearing this, get ready to listen. Because I'm coming at you with a message from your guides. Things are about to change. Maybe you've been hoping for them to change. Maybe you've been trying to manifest change. And I'm here to tell you a whole lot of really dangerous nonsense, basically. Am I the only one who keeps being hit by videos like this on TikTok all the time right now? The channeled spirit guide messages that really lean over into spiritual psychosis territory. That's what I want to talk about in this video. I'm afraid I am going to be reading it at you. I'm having such a brain farty week, and it's just going to be better if I read it at you, I think. But yeah, spiritual psychosis, these flipping guided messages that are everywhere, and why they're so flipping dangerous. Yeah, so sometimes these videos are a girl being very, very excited to the point of shaking all over because the messages coming through from my guides are so amazing she can barely contain her own brain. Other times it's a woman in black with red lighting and creepy music trying to scare the shit out of me so that I'll purchase her one-on-one services as the only way to get through the stormy times she sees coming ahead. Dear God, I wish I could find the account I'm talking about for this latter one. There's a few that do it, but one of them, oh Lord, she is the worst. Really, it's so, she comes at you so intensely with, you know, this kind of war music going on in the background and the red lighting and the, you know, real like scary spiritual threats that if I was any kind of spiritual psychosis level, I think viewing that message, and you get like so many people in the comments being like, this is really scary, or like, I don't claim this, blah, 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 blah. People are seeing this and being fucking unnerved by it. And I think when you're basically doing something that's performance art, but you're like, even the woman doing it doesn't believe it's performance art. She believes it's like a genuine thing, like genuinely I'm coming at you with these real threats. It reminds me of the War of the Worlds thing. You know, when they first broadcast War of the Worlds on the radio back in, the 50s or something, and they claimed that it was really happening. It was like the first time they'd really done that and said, oh, this is really happening, but it wasn't, and it was performance art. And a guy actually unalived his whole family, and I think also himself, because he thought it was real. He thought the aliens were really coming and they were going to kill his family, and it would be better if he them himself so that they weren't submitted to alien tortures. This is the kind of thing that even performance art can do to people who are not expecting performance art. So if you've got something that even the person doing it believes, oh, this is real, like this, like this woman, like, so I wish I could find her account, but I can't find it right now. So I'll be the first to say that yes, the TikTok algorithm is scarily accurate. People can hop on there and make a video with 0 hashtags that describes you perfectly, because TikTok has such an invasive kind of spyware thing going on your phone. Yes, it knows exactly who you are in the present, but there's a huge difference between describing you in your present state from all this data it's mining and telling you the future and what is coming for you personally, which even TikTok is not clever enough to do yet, in my opinion. Now, I do believe in tarot. I do actually believe in spirit guides and all of this weird stuff. But I don't believe you can generalize a spirit guide reading for hundreds of thousands of people. Isn't that kind of the opposite of having your own spirit guides and your own path to tread in life? So obviously these mass spirit guide readings that people put out on the For You page, it's just an advertisement for their services. That is all it is. But it comes at you in this very threatening way. And honestly, what I believe about this stuff is completely irrelevant. What I want to talk about is how dangerous this kind of pseudo-religious, I am the voice of your higher self, I am the direct connection to the divine crap actually is when it's used in this way. Because there are a vast number of mentally ill people on TikTok because of the fact that it's one of the most addictive and easily digestible forms of online entertainment. You know, you're constantly scrolling new things and it's coming at you and it's so accurate, it's so quick and it's so addictive. And it has a similar law to YouTube in that there's a parasocial relationship there whereby a single person is talking to you, hanging out with you. It's a great loneliness buster. And the super accurate algorithm brings struggling people together in a way that can be really beautiful. But it can also be dangerous as fuck. You know how TikTok goes, that if you show interest in one tiny little thing, one little click, it's going to bombard you with more of that thing for the next week at least. And if that thing is spirituality and angel numbers and noticing signs and synchronicities, and suddenly TikTok decides to go apeshit with that stuff, it can so easily lead you towards a state of spiritual psychosis. Given that many of the symptoms of spiritual psychosis are noticing signs and synchronicities everywhere, whether it be numbers or whether it be everyone talking to you that day having green eyes. And maybe green means money's coming your way, or it could be a sign of healing that you need to heal or that you are healing. Like, why are you noticing the green eyes? And then you glance at the clock and it says 11 minutes past the hour and you know you're onto something because 11 is such a spiritually special number. And do you see how these tiny little brain fart thoughts can spiral up into major delusions that an algorithm is going to keep on feeding because it keeps you clicking and scrolling, and it'll be very easy to believe, holy shit, this is too much to be a coincidence. Here comes another video with 111 written at the top. Here comes another video about malachite changing your life. Here comes another channeled fucking message telling me exactly what I have to do with my life. And I am so freaking psyched because suddenly I have a goal and things are happening and I'm manifesting them into action and I know what my purpose on earth is, or I will do soon. And do you see how this is such an addictive feeling or vibe? Like, none of us know what we're doing here, really. And particularly when you're young or going through a shitty life period, you may feel lost as fuck as to what you ought to be doing with your day or with your entire life. So when someone comes along and starts telling you exactly what you should be doing and exactly how things are going to go, and suddenly the algorithm's throwing coincidence, synchronicities at you night and day, it can feel like a relief. Like you're being led by the hand through life instead of wandering lost through the desert. You're essentially giving up your free will to all of these synchronicities. These, if you see or think such and such, you should do such and such superstitious beliefs. But in exchange for your free will, you're getting this feeling of safety because they're telling you that with the right attitude towards manifestation, you will never, ever find yourself in trouble again. You know, this whole, oh, if you have the right attitude and you understand the laws of the universe, you know, you can fly through life, you can take it, oh, universe, come at me, all these things that people say. And it's like, this is such a privileged and prejudiced belief system. I'm sorry, but it is. You know, the view whereby people who think positively enough will always have positive stuff come to them. Therefore, if you're broke and homeless or chronically ill, must mean you have a really negative attitude, right? Do we not see the really victim-blaming flip side to these, like, oh, positive attitude, positive things? You're being negative and driving all the positive stuff away with your own negativity, and you could fix all your health issues and financial problems and family problems in a single month if you just thought positively enough, which is, like, say, so scarily victim blaming and privileged. You see this kind of thing with healthy people all the time, and I've seen it with a lot of healthy people in my life. They believe they're healthy because they do all the right things and they think the right way and they have the right attitude, not because of dumb luck. And it's only when some terrible ill health lands in their lap or some awful ill fortune that they realize, people who are sick frequently did nothing to warrant it happening. It was just in their genes or in the vast tumble of human luck and human happenings that day, and you can't control everything with positive thinking. But returning to the point of channeled messages and spiritual psychosis, I know how charismatic these people can be and how fascinating their messages can sound and how alight with their own beliefs they often are. It's a pretty heady cocktail. But the tragic thing is, I would swear many of the people putting out these channeled messages are in spiritual psychosis themselves. The way they're literally shaking with excitement, the way every card that comes up seems to confirm their original beliefs and feelings. There's no, oh, okay, we're getting this card. Let me think a minute. Let me actually read into this and do the work and understand. Instead, it's a joyful bouncing up and down like, yes, I knew it. He's going to cheat on you, but you're going to walk away from this so happy. I can see this coming. Everything they see is backing up their own cognitive bias that they already knew everything. Maybe I'm wrong. But I don't trust that type of tarot reader. It's like they've already decided or scripted what the message will be, and the cards add nothing but theatrics to the experience. When it comes to spiritual psychosis generally and spiritual people, many of us are walking a fine line by definition. We believe in a lot of things few people do, and some could term that alone psychosis. But if you're a spiritual person who actually has had a period of psychosis, you will know that the difference is fucking tangible. In spiritual psychosis, one is unlikely to be relaxed and peacefully enjoying their spiritual practices. They are far more likely to be worked up about everything, believing themselves, defending themselves, their family, or the whole world from some supernatural or human evil, or feeling utterly euphoric and untouchable because they've unlocked the secrets of the entire universe and everyone has to know about it. And obviously, there's a certain influencer who comes to mind with this, who recently people were kind of talking about a lot with like, oh my God, I think she's in spiritual psychosis, and she was so just manic and so alight with what she believed she'd discovered. And it was these funny little things that, you wouldn't think much of. But if you're in that state, it can be like, this is, the final synchronicity plopping into place and I understand the world. And yeah, it comes in many forms, but all can be summarized as feeling quite similar to a hallucinogenic trip that will not fucking end, sometimes for months at a time. Colours and shapes can become glaring and hard to look at. There are visible patterns or faces or signs leering from wooden doors, cloud formations, gravel on the ground, and all these things become a sensory and information overload. Mania in psychosis is also quite common. Your mind cannot return to the everyday. You are stuck in a 24/7 loop of warped beliefs, constantly fueled by the scary or euphoric signs and synchronicities you're seeing everywhere, and the rabbit hole spins deeper and deeper until appropriate medication is given, or the sufferer manages to latch onto logic again, and they realize that the whole worldview, the whole goddamn religious belief system they've been operating under for weeks or months now was nothing but madness. That moment can either be one of extreme relief if the psychosis was terrifying, or it could be a moment of sadness, disappointment, and absolute confusion if you had been under the belief that you understood how the whole world worked and actually had some control over future events or future sight. In all, hopefully this shows how, alluring is not quite the right word, but perhaps comfortable slipping into spiritual psychosis can be, particularly for young people who feel so lost and confused by and in this world. Spiritual psychosis is a liar that tells you it has the answers to everything, and the charlatans on TikTok feed into this belief like nothing else presently on earth. Once again, I just flat out do not believe in doing a channeled reading to a mass audience. Who or what the fuck are you actually channeling at that point? Surely these people realize their message is going to go out to people it's not actually for. Which means surely you realize, if you are not actually deep in psychosis yourself, that you are lying to a great deal of people in order to sell your services, which isn't particularly spiritually evolved. Although, honestly, the new era of spirituality on TikTok is a whole ass clusterfuck that needs multiple more videos to pick apart. I'll link my video on dark femininity at the end of this one and also in the Dropbox, because there's so much more to say on that, and there's so much more to say on the whole thing when I don't feel like walking brain fog. But for now, hopefully you get the point. Don't trust fucking TikTok spiritualists, particularly not the ones claiming this message is specifically for you, and particularly the ones full of threats like, oh, this is coming for you and you better do this. No. And particularly not the ones that have hundreds of thousands of likes and views. That sounds more like pandering to the egos of viewers. We all like to hear that something good is coming our way, or that we're about to get one over on an enemy, or that we're spiritually sensitive, psychically talented starseeds, or whatever crap they want to sugar their message with tonight. If you find the content interesting and entertaining, go for it, but remain cynical. Cynicism is your best defense against spiritual psychosis. Finally, I'd like to say that I've actually seen content on TikTok glorifying psychosis, usually as a result of recreational drugs like, are you even going hard enough if you don't end up in psychosis? Or, when the psychosis kicks in, What the fuck? All I can say is if that is your view of psychosis, I highly fucking doubt you've ever truly experienced it. So it seems like these days, disturbingly, most experienced psychonauts and long-term drug users have experienced some level of psychosis. I've experienced it just from just from amphetamines, you know, as opposed to drugs that really skew your thinking, just from amphetamines in my early 20s, back in the 2000s, when no one knew jack shit about mental health. So it went totally undetected even by myself. I genuinely just believed, like to my core believed, that everyone had their houses bugged to spy on me and that my car was bugged. It was like really egotistical. Like, who gives a crap? Who gives a crap what you're saying to yourself in your car or singing in your car? Why do you think your friends want to listen to this and watch this? And I believe the bugs were invisible. It was a whole thing. And yeah, the typical tweaker paranoias. But honestly, this was psychosis light. Like, this was pretty much nothing compared to what psychosis can be. I was still fully functional as a human. I just had this one really paranoid belief. When it comes to full-blown psychosis, though, and spiritual psychosis in particular, which seems to saturate the very depths of your fucking soul because it's about everything, isn't it? Right and wrong, good and evil, the afterlife and your purpose on earth and everything. Like, you know, to the core of your human experience, it will warp. Your whole brain turns inside out and it's terrifying and dark. Or if you get the euphoric version, you'll end up doing things so wildly mad, you end up incarcerated, quite possibly, or at least with a lifetime of regret and embarrassment. And the terrifying thing about spiritual psychosis is that you can think yourself into it. Genuinely, enough wonky thoughts, enough of this crap leading you to pay every attention to every little, you know, you see it all the time these days with like conspiracy theories. It's the same with spiritualism, that if you fall down enough niche rabbit holes and you really believe them, you can think yourself into a really messed up state. And I think most people in adulthood, you're probably thinking of someone right now, like a friend that you have basically lost to internet rabbit holes, that, you know, they've gone down enough internet rabbit holes, be that politically, spiritually, in terms of science and medicine and evolution, whatever it is. And eventually you can't have a conversation with them anymore, or they block out everyone who is rational thinking in their life. And yeah, it's quite common these days. People go right off the deep end. As a final underline to this, people commit literal murders in psychosis, usually murders of people they love, because who's looking after you while you're off your nut? To put it bluntly, it's going to be your partner, right? Or your family. That's how dark it can turn. And just because you'd be sent to a high security mental facility rather than jail does not make the sentence any lighter or easier. Trust me, I once met someone who'd been through this. Blood on their hands, dragged and drugged into submission for 15 years inside. It was fucking dark. And it can all start with a misguided belief system and this crap on TikTok. Not for them, obviously, because this was a while ago, a long time before the internet and all of that, but I believe it could go the same way with all of this crap, and particularly with the woman I mentioned at the beginning with the really dark, scary stuff. I think if your spiritual psychosis is seeded by something dark and scary, I think it's more likely to go in a dark and scary direction. So, I've said it before, but be careful with your intellectual diet. Watch what you consume. If you are what you eat, then you definitely are what you watch. I've barely watched a horror movie in a decade or more due to the bullshit that plays on my mind afterwards. And I used to love that shit. I still have cravings to watch horror movies, but I just know it's not worth it. Curiosity towards the spiritual is something that needs to be handled with care. And a 3-minute TikTok video is nearly as bad as a 240-character tweet as far as in-depth, well-rounded info goes. There just isn't enough time. It simply isn't the place to really learn. So if you hear something interesting on TikTok or Twitter, Google it, find a book, read the book, get the whole thing in full. TikTok is a noisy hedge full of chirping birds, sharp little shards of info raining down into the delicate tissues of your brain, and for some people, slicing them wide open. Anyway, this is a fucking huge waffle now, and hopefully you get the point. Guard your brain, stay cynical, use your own moral compass, and if you have like a gut instinct about something being bullshit, or like, this is eerie and creepy and I don't like it, but I'm go with the gut instinct and just flick them away. This is the beautiful thing about TikTok, is that you can just flick them away and they're gone, you know? And if you have advice or stories for others, whether that's on spiritual psychosis, spiritualism generally, or TikTok, or there's anything else in this realm of waffles you think I should dig into next, please drop it below. Many thanks for tolerating the annoyingly scripted nature of this waffle serious brain fog this week, dude. Like say, my video on dark femininity and TikTok will be linked below or on the screen somewhere or something like that if you want more of this sort of thing. So thank you for listening, and I'm going to shut up and go away for now. So over and out. Bye-bye.